Hi, everybody. Welcome to your everyday math lesson for lesson 8.9. So we are getting close to the end of the year. We are working a lot of different things. We're doing a lot of different kinds of assignments in class, and today is no different. Today, we're going to talk about your heart. I know, you're like, wait, that's science. No, it's also math, because we're going to do some math things with it. So your heart is a muscle. It's an organ in your body that pumps blood throughout your blood vessels. So it's what carries oxygen throughout your body. It helps you, okay? When I say your heart rate, that means how many times it beats in a certain amount of time. Most of the time when you think about heart rate, you think about beats per minute, okay? So when you think of beats per minute, think about how your heart does in the middle of the night. You're sleeping, you're relaxed. It's probably beating kind of slow, right? What happens when you run around the block? Or when you go up a flight of stairs? Your heart rate goes up, right? You can feel your heart beating faster. Sometimes you feel it in your chest, right? So we're going to talk about heart rate today. We're going to talk about how to measure heart rate, and we're going to talk about things that could happen with it, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to talk about how you can find your heart rate and your pulse. So right here in our math message, it says you can feel your pulse on the bottom side of your wrist below your thumb. You can also feel it on your neck. So we're going to talk about the wrist really quickly. This is my hand. I just flipped it over. Just sitting it on the table, nice and relaxed, okay? I can see a little tiny blue line going right here. And that is your vein. Like it's a little, like right there, that little tiny blue line. You see it? That's a blood vein. So with my arm relaxed, I can take two fingers and I can push right there on it. And I can feel my pulse. Notice I'm not jamming my fingers in because that would hurt. Okay? Just barely touching. And you can feel your heart rate. You can feel your pulse. You can count how many beats you have. Another way you can do this, so if you look at the screen with my face, you can see another way you can do this is start with your ear and go straight down, kind of where your jaw curves. You can't hardly see it because of my chin, but kind of like where your jaw curves. So right there in the corner, and push in, right there. And you should be able to feel your pulse. So sometimes if you push a little bit closer on your neck, or sometimes if you go even up here, like under your jaw, you can feel your pulse. So those are two ways that you can measure a pulse. So technically you're supposed to work with a partner. You don't have a partner. You have me. So what's going to happen is I'm going to show you and I'm going to take my pulse and we're going to use it to help you. So all of this information will be my pulse. I want you to use your pulse. Try to measure it. If you can't, that's okay. You can use mine. So it says first, work with a partner. So if you want to work with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousin that's home, somebody older or the same age as you, count the number of heartbeats you get in 15 seconds while your partner keeps track of the time. Do this several times until you're sure that your count is accurate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my little timer on I'm going to pull up my little clock on my phone here. Okay. And I'm just going to use the blank timer here. Okay. So I'm going to keep it going so I can kind of see. I'm going to find my pulse. And then as soon as I find my pulse, I'm going to start counting for 15 seconds. Okay. So I have my pulse right now. Okay. Let me move my fingers just to make sure. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to look at my timer. And I'm going to start counting. Ready? And I'm going to wait till it's at 30 seconds. Make it easy. Okay. $18 seconds or 18 beats. So in 15 seconds, when I just did my pulse, my heart beat 18 times. Now, just to make sure, I'm going to measure it again. So again, I'm going to find my pulse. I'm going to relax my arm. Make sure I have a good reading on it. There it goes. And I'm going to start counting right when it says 115. That's when I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 beats. Pretty consistent, right? Depending on what you're doing, your heart rate might be a little bit faster. It might be a little bit slower. Just depends on what you're doing. So I'm going to say average 19 to 18. I'm going to say it's about 18 beats per minute or per 15 seconds. All right. Number 2, it says, how could you use your answer in problem 1 to find out how many times your heart beats in 1 minute? Ooh, this is tricky. Think about a clock. This is about 15 seconds. So in this 15 seconds, my heart beat 18 times. What problem can I do to figure out how many times it would beat per minute? What math problem could I use? Well, I know that there are 15 seconds here. That's 15. That would be 15, and that would be 15. So I could do 18 times 4 because there are 4 groups of 15 minutes per hour, right? 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So my heart rate was about 72 beats per minute. Not bad at all. Not bad. All right, let's go to the next part of our question. It says fill in the blanks. 1 hour equals how many minutes? 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Okay, 1 day equals how many hours? Well, 1 day is the same as 24 hours. And 1 year has how many days? All right, in 1 year, typical year, there's 365 days. Yes, leap year, there's 366, but we're looking at a regular standard year, okay? So now let's think about our number of heartbeats. If it's 72 times per 1 minute, we already figured that out. How many times is that per hour? What is 72 times 60? All right, here we go. I know since I'm multiplying, my 0 kind of stays at the bottom. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry my 1. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. So 4,320 beats per hour. All right, great. If that's for 1 hour, how many is it per day? So I'm going to multiply 4,320 times 24. Do the math. All right, here we go. 4,320 times 24. 4 times 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry my 1. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. X's and O's. 2 times 0. 2 times 2. 2 times 3. And 2 times 4. All right. Add them together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. 7 plus 6 is 13. Carry my 1. 8 plus 1 is 10. All right. 103,680. 103,680. It's a lot of heartbeats in a day. Great. Now, this is 1 day. We need to figure out for 365 days. Multiply 103,680 times 365. All right, here we go. 103,680 times 365. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 4. It's 34. 5 times 3 is 15, 16, 17, 18. Carry my 1. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 5 times 1 is 5. X's and O's. 6 times 0. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 6 is 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. And 6 times 1 is 6. X's and O's. Here we go. 0 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Carry my 2. 3 times 6 is 18. 19, 20. Carry my 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 10, 11. Carry my 1. 3 times 0 plus 1 is 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. Add those numbers together. All right, here we go. 0, 0, 12, 13, 4, 8, 7, 3. All right. It's a lot of heartbeats. Just to make sure, I am going to use my calculator. Here we go. We did 103,680 times 365. Did my math make sense? Yes, it did. Awesome job. 37,843,200 beats per minute. Wow. I'm sorry, per year. It's a lot. That's not counting exercise. That's not counting when my heart rate goes up. That is regular standstill beats per minute. Now we're going to do a little experiment. Technically, you're supposed to work with a partner. We're not going to work with a partner on this one. We're just going to kind of do it together. Okay? So it says, work with a partner to find out how exercise affects your heart rate. Use your answers from problem 1 and 2 to fill out the journal page on number 304 to fill in the first row. So we said and that's what we did here. We said in 15 seconds, I had about 18 beats per minute, or per second. And that means in 1 minute, I have about 72 beats per minute. That's what we said. Now it's time to do our exercise. Let's do some jumping jacks. So what's going to happen is in an open area, so I'm actually going to do it kind of off to the side. I'm not going to record myself doing jumping jacks. You don't want to see that, I promise. But I am going to go ahead and do jumping jacks, 10 jumping jacks without stopping. As soon as I finish, I'll get my pulse. I'm going to do that every time. I'm going to do that a few times in a row. All right? So I'm going to start by doing the 10 jumping jacks. Give me just a second. All right, so I'm going to call an audible, which means I'm going to make a little bit of a thing. So I'm going to use a volunteer. So I have a student that we worked with last year that is actually one of the kids that were in my class, and they're going to help me with this assignment. I'm so excited because they're going to help me do this lesson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them come on and at least say hi in just a moment, but I'm going to get their resting heart rate, and then I will be right back. Hold tight. While we're doing this, why don't you go ahead, jump 10 jumping jacks, do 10. Check your heart rate and go ahead and fill out this chart. All right, here we go. Here's my friend. They're going to help me out. Go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Hi, my name is Karan Veer, and I'm a 6th grade student, and I'm going to be doing 50 jumping jacks.
Oh, he's going to rock it out. Here we go. What I'm going to do, you should have your 10 jumping jacks done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do his jumping jacks. I'm going to get his pulses, and I'm going to fill out the chart. So I will be back. While I'm doing that, I want you to try to fill out your chart as well. Okay? See you soon. All right, that was a lot of fun. So my friend decided to do jumping jacks. So we went ahead and did them like it said. We did a group of 10, rested, 20, rested, etc. So here we go. After 10 jumping jacks, his heart rate was 22 beats for every 15 seconds. And we know that we're going to multiply that by 4. So 22 times 4 is 88. 28 times 4, 3, 4, 8, 9, 11. 112 beats a minute. 116 beats per minute. 124 beats per minute. 128 beats per minute. So after 50 jumping jacks, my friend was able to do those jumping jacks, getting his heart rate up to 128 beats per minute. Craziness. It's awesome. All right, here we go. Now we have all of this time. So why is it important that you do the jumping jacks at about the same speed? Well, if you do them slower, if I just do 10 jumping jacks at a time and then wait, my heart rate would always stay about 88 beats. But if I do 50 consistently, and I'm telling you, he was jumping pretty quick, getting up to 128 beats, it's going to keep the heart rate pretty consistent as well, right? Awesome. Look at your table. Does exercise increase or decrease your heart rate? And how do you know? So increase means it gets larger. Decrease means smaller. What does it do? Well, looking at this data, I can see that it got bigger. It went from 72 to 128. The reason why I know that it's increasing is because the beats per minute after 50 jumping jacks was much higher than the resting rate. All right. Do you think that there's a rule you could use to predict the next number of times that your heart would beat in 15 seconds if you jumped 100 jumping jacks? And explain your answer. Okay. I see that this only increased about 4. And then this was a big jump. It increased 8. And then it was a little by little by little from here. That's not consistent. There's not a rule. I can't say that every 10 I do, I increase 15 beats a minute. It doesn't work that way. This time I increased 4 beats per minute, 6 beats per minute, 1 beat extra, 2 beats extra, 1 beat extra. So there's nothing really consistent about those times. So do you think there is a rule? No. It jumped pretty high after 20 jumping jacks. But then slowly increased. So basically that means that at 20 it jumped big time. It grew 6 beats a minute, or 6 beats every 15 seconds. After that, it was only about 4 or 5 beats a minute. 6 beats a minute, 8 beats a minute. Okay. Why do you think that is? Well, one of the big reasons why that is, and I'm going to go ahead, give me just a second. I'm going to make myself bigger here. One of the big reasons why that is because when you're doing your jumping jacks and as your body gets used to the exercise routine, there's only a limit as to how fast your heart can go. Eventually, your heart's going to get into a nice steady rhythm when you're doing those physical exercises to where it's not going to get any faster. Okay? I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Please have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.